ask you a very important question. And before that you answer this question, I want you to think long and hard. You guys ready? Okay. What is your favorite season? Because after all, isn't that one of the most important questions to ask a business owner? What is your favorite season? What season do you look forward to? What season do you have the most fun in? All right, we're just having a little bit of fun right now. But seriously, what is your favorite season? For me, my favorite season is the fall. I absolutely love that brisk, cooler weather that comes in. It's football season, pumpkin, everything. And here's a funny thing about the fall. It seems like once the fall hits, it's now officially dessert season. Summer is over. We're wearing hoodies. And now it's at the point where you can pretty much eat whatever you want. Pumpkin pie, apple cider donuts, and cheesecake. All right. When I think of the fall, Thanksgiving is coming up. And I think of all these fantastic desserts that we can now enjoy as we're watching football and hanging out with our friends. Now, there's one particular type of dessert that I really look forward to. And yes, you can have it all year round. But for some reason, I really look forward to this in the fall time. And it is a special type of cheesecake. I'm going to pull this up for you for really quick. Oh, doesn't that look so good? Who's hungry right now? And it's a special type of cheesecake, and you can see it right here. But it has all of these different slices, and I'm sure you guys have had this before. But what you notice here is you have some raspberry, some strawberry, looks like blueberry, chocolate, white chocolate chips. But of course, I got to bring this back into business. And I want you to take a look at this cheesecake right here. Or we can just take a pie example or a cake example, same thing. And when you look at this cheesecake, it's one cake or it's one pie. And what you want to do is you want to think of that as your target audience, right? So within this circle is your target audience. Now, can you do business with people outside of that circle? Absolutely. But primarily all your efforts are focusing on what's inside this circle. Now, even though this is one cake, you can see there's many different slices. And not only are there different slices, but each slice is uniquely different. Like I said, you have raspberry, you might have strawberry, you might have blueberry, chocolate. That's what we want to think of when we think of our target audience. So we have this pie, we have this circle, which is our target audience. But within this target audience, we have different groups that might use our product or services for a completely different reason. They're all still part of the target market, but within our target market, there are different groups that use our products and services for different reasons. Now, I know this can be a little bit confusing, but here's the difference between a target market and what we're going to be talking about today, which is segmentation and target segments, right? So your target market are the customers who are most likely to make a purchase from you. We already talked about that in the last video. These are the individuals who are most likely to make a purchase from you. But again, within that target market, within that circle, within that pie, within that cake, you have many different slices. And each one of those slices will use your product or services for a completely different reason. This is what we call segments and segmentations. So when you think of a target market, you want to think of the overall core customers that you're going to do business with. When you think of segments, and just think about that, you're slicing up that pie into different segments, into different slices. These are all individuals who will use your business for completely different reasons, right? Now, why is this important, and what exactly are we looking at? And it has to do with one word. It's called why. It's finding your why. You see, many schools will teach you to define who is your target audience and who are the different segments within your target audience. But there's a key clue here, because even though it's important to define who, and we're going to get there in a little bit, it is actually more important to define why. Why is this group of people buying from your business? Why is this group of people purchasing your products or solutions? Why does this group of people come to you on an ongoing basis? Because when you find out what the why is, and we find out exactly not only who does business with us, but why they chose us over the competition, well, then we actually know how to serve them better, don't we? Or if we ask, why is someone choosing the competition over us, then we can find out what we're doing wrong and how we can fix it, right? So when we're talking about target segments, I want you to shift the focus on who your target segment is or who your target audience is, and let's focus more on why. All right, so just a quick little recap, especially if you're new to business, this is going to be really confusing. When I use the word target going forward, what I'm talking about is your overall target audience, who those core individuals who are most likely to do business with you and who you are actually diverting your resources to try to attract, okay? When I say target, that's what I'm referring to. That is the whole pie. When I say segment going forward, I want you to think of not only the whole pie, but a specific slice of that pie, all right? So target, whole pie, segment, slice. You guys have a cup of coffee with some pie right now? Are you guys with me? Okay, perfect. Now, I want to give you an example of why it's so important to find out the why. I'm going to give you an example why it's important to find out the why. Why all over the place, right? I want you to think about this. Let's say you open up a coffee shop. You're in a downtown district, and there is a lot of working young professionals in your area. So, you correctly assume that I have a coffee shop. There are a lot of young professionals in this area. All the research that I see says that there is demand for coffee shops in this specific geographic area with this young professional target audience, okay? And you actually create your coffee shop catering to these individuals. And in your mind, you're like, okay, young professionals, they're very busy, they're on the go, they want a quick coffee experience on the way to work or on their way home from work. So I want to make this as quick and easy for them as possible. And I'm going to focus my entire coffee shop on speed. So when they walk into the coffee shop, I am not going to have fancy cappuccinos or lattes because that takes time. I'm just going to do drip coffee. When you walk in, instead of having seats, I'm literally going to have those barriers that you see at the airport with rope that dictates where the line goes. I'm going to structure my entire coffee shop that looks like that so people know exactly where the line starts, how the flow goes to get people in and out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to train my staff to be as quick and as efficient as possible so when someone comes in, they get their coffee, they're immediately out onto the next person. But then the coffee shop fails. Why? Going back to the question, why? Why does the coffee shop fail? Well, all my research said that I did the right job in my targeting strategy. I'm targeting young professionals. I am focusing on one specific group of people, and I am servicing that group of people and putting all my efforts towards them. I'm not diverting my resources all over the place. I'm not spreading myself thin. I'm not trying to be everything to everyone. So why is my business failing? Well, the reason why, and the main reason why, is because what you did was you failed to ask this target audience that you selected, young professionals, why would you go to a coffee shop? Why would you do business with me? And if that business owner actually took the time to do that and tried to discover what the why was instead of just the who, what they would have realized is that young professionals actually like that authentic cafe experience. They like drinking lattes and cappuccinos and seasonal drinks. They like a place where they can sit down and relax and have a cup of coffee with their friend. They like a place where they can actually meet clients and step out of the office or away from the home for a little bit. They like a coffee shop where if they're an independent contractor, they can leave their home office and actually go somewhere else to enjoy a new scenery. They like a place that has reliable Wi-Fi, that has an aesthetically appealing ambiance. They like a friendly staff. that they know by name, that they can interact with and ask them how their day is going. So in this example, the business owner did the right job with identifying who his ideal target audience is. That was a profitable target audience for this specific situation. But you can have the right person and you can identify a profitable target audience. But if you don't find out why they are doing business with you and how they are going to use your products or services, that is where you can find yourself in big danger and actually find yourself in significant difficulties in moving your business forward. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, the thing you're going to realize is different groups of people will use your brand for different reasons. Different groups of people will use your brands for different reasons. So your job as a business owner is not just to find out who is going to do business with you and who is the path of least resistance and who has the potential to be a profitable client for you. But your job is also to find out why would they do business with you? Why are they going to choose you over the competition? Why are they going to actually come to your brand on an ongoing basis? When you focus on the why, now you're able, and this is really important to understand. When you understand why someone would do business with you, that's the magic formula. Because now all you have to do is supply and fulfill that why. Customer says they want X. You give them X. They are willing to do business with you. You're in business for a long time. When you're able to find out the why and you're able to fulfill the why at a profit, that is where the magic begins. And that's when you start to see your business soaring to the next level. You have to understand this. And this fits into this topic of the why. We don't buy products. We buy solutions. We don't buy products, we buy solutions. I go to the toothpaste example. We're not buying a toothpaste because I have a green toothpaste and a red toothpaste. I want a white toothpaste. That's not how we operate. We buy a toothpaste because it keeps our breath fresh. We buy a toothpaste because we don't want cavities. We buy toothpaste because we want a clean mouth. That's why we buy toothpaste. Not because of the way it looks or because what it is, because of what it does. We don't buy a car just because it's a car. We buy a car because we need reliable transportation. Or we buy a car because of the way it connects with our cell phone. Or we buy a car because of the emotional feeling and the emotional connection that we have with our car. Thinking of all the good times that we had and the memories while driving it. We buy solutions. And this is what we call end uses. We don't buy a car. We buy what the car does for us. We don't buy toothpaste. We buy what the toothpaste does for us. We don't go to the coffee shop. We go because what the coffee shop can provide us. All right? Does that make sense? That is probably one of the most fundamental elements of business that we have to understand. Who is the most profitable target? Why are they doing business with us? What is that end use that they will use our products and services for? Okay. Now, I want to go back to clarify another term. So our target market, and again, I know this can be confusing, right? Make sure you guys look at the supplemental resources in this program. And if you are not a member of the program, make sure you sign up so you can get all these resources. So target market is the overall pie. Those are the individuals who are most likely to do business with us. Target market, the overall pie. Within your target market, we have different slices. Those different slices are different segments. Segments will use your products and services for different reasons. That's the why. We call this end use. End use. And just think of the terminology. It actually makes sense. What is the end use of this product? So why is someone using toothpaste? What is the end result they want to see from this toothpaste? Fresh breath, clean mouth, lack of cavities. All right, so that's all my sense. Target market, big hole. Within that target market, different slices. Those are your segments. Segments will use your product or services for different reasons. That's the why, but we also call that end use. All right, move on. So let's go back to this coffee solution. You're a coffee shop in a downtown district, and you're appealing to young professionals. That is your target audience, a profitable target audience that you're going after. All right. So when we're defining who our different segments are, and one of the things I advise you to do is define your segments before you define your target audience, right? And the reason why is because when you're defining your segments, they should lead into who your target audience is. Does that make sense? If you define your target audience first, you may limit potential profitable customers, but you also may overshoot and expand to customers who are not profitable. So what we're going to talk about in this video is what are the different steps to define your different segments, okay? Step one, you're going to brainstorm the why or the end use, okay? What I want you to do is get a piece of paper, and I want you to just brainstorm, just throw it whatever you want on paper. Why would people do business with you? Not who, why. Why are all the different reasons why people would do business with you? So in this coffee shop, for example, why would people go to the coffee shop? Well, maybe they want to conduct a meeting and they don't have an office to conduct it with. Or maybe they just want to get out of the office to conduct a meeting. Maybe they want to get work done and they don't want to do it at their house or at the office. Maybe they're a coffee enthusiast and they love premium coffees or they love seasonal coffees. Maybe the coffee shop has live acoustic music on the weekends and they want a night out. They don't want to do something too heavy. They want something that's relaxing and casual and low key. A lot of people go to coffee shops to do Bible studies. Maybe this has a novelty gift shop where there's different novelty items that people would buy. All right. So all you're doing is you're writing down all of the different reasons why someone would do business with you. There's no right or wrong answer, just brainstorming down. Now, I use the example of a coffee shop in a downtown district targeting young professionals. But I could use another coffee shop that has a completely different why, Dunkin' Donuts. And the reason why I want to show you this is you might think, well, everyone in my industry has the same why. It's not so. So if you're Dunkin' Donuts, why do people go to Dunkin' Donuts? Well, people who are on the go, who need a quick, good cup of coffee at a reasonable price. That's why they go to Dunkin' Donuts. Completely different why they would go to this downtown cafe. Maybe they like the fun seasonal flavors that Dunkin' Donuts has. Maybe they go there because it's cheaper than Starbucks. Maybe it's extremely convenient. Maybe it's because the bakery for the kids, they have munchkins and donuts and they want to go through the drive-thru, get a coffee for me and something for the kids to snack on. Both coffee shops, however, they're targeting completely different individuals. All right. Now, what's interesting is as you progress through the Succeed strategy, you're going to see how everything connects. Everything is interweaving. We don't teach you one strategy and then it's just off on a deserted island. As you define why people are doing businesses with you and you flush this out and you refine it, later in the solution section, we're going to take that why and we're going to show you how to create engaging products and solutions that are based on why people would do business with you. So it's a real simple formula. Again, customer wants X, you create X, you make a profit, everyone's happy. Okay, so that's step one. Why are all the reasons why someone would do business with you? Step one. Step two. Now what I want to do is now I want to define the who. So I already made a list of why people would do business with me. Now what I want to do is identify who exactly are these individuals. Okay? So for individuals who are using the coffee shop to conduct a meeting, who would do that? Well, I'm thinking young professionals, but do you think other people would use a coffee shop to conduct a meeting? Have you ever gone to Starbucks and see people having a meeting or independent contractors having a meeting at your local coffee shop? Yeah, all the time. Is there a chance that they're older than young professionals? Absolutely. So maybe I was a little bit off on my target demographic. See, this is why it's so important to focus on the why first. So I would say who would conduct a meeting at my coffee shop? Well, maybe business professionals, ages 25 to 65. Does that sound like a good answer? All right. Getting work done out of the office. Who would do that? Same thing. Maybe business professionals, ages 25 to 65. Independent contractors might be interested in that. All right. International coffee enthusiasts who want a place to hang out with your friends. Well, that I would probably say young professionals more so. I would say that if it's an older individual, they're probably going home with their families instead of going to a coffee shop after work. Maybe not, but for the most part, I think it's a pretty safe assumption that international coffee enthusiasts would probably be young professionals going to the coffee shop after work. Live acoustic music on the weekends. I think young professionals sounds pretty fair as well. If you are an older individual with a family and kids, you're probably not going to the coffee shop with your kids on the weekend. Maybe if it's a date night, but on the most part, probably not. I think young professionals is a safe audience. All right, Bible studies. Maybe Christian groups. You might have high school Christian groups that do a Bible study at your coffee shop. You might have college groups. You might have young professionals. You might have adult groups. You might have a combination of the two, right? So the reason why I think it's so important to do the why first, then the who, is because if you focus on the who first, you might limit who would do business with you, but you also might target audiences that might not be profitable, right? So step one, why would people do business with you? Step two, try to identify who would actually partake in that. Does that make sense? Okay, final one. Now, before I go to the final one, this is really important, and I want you to notice here. Number one, an end use may cater to multiple segments, right? So we talked about people having meetings at the coffee shop. Young professionals could have meetings at the coffee shop, but also older professionals could have meetings at a coffee shop as well. The same thing with Bible studies. Maybe you consider that a meeting at the coffee shop. So you might have many different segments or demographics with the same common end use. This is okay. It's perfectly okay. Also, we're going to flip that. A demo might have different multiple end uses, right? So we talked about young professionals. They might go to your coffee shop to have a meeting. They might go to the coffee shop to get work done outside the office. They might go to the coffee shop to hang out with their friends. They might go to the coffee shop for the live music, right? That's why it was attractive to identify the young professionals, because they have so many different reasons why they would use your coffee shop. All are valid, right? Your target might be different than what you thought, right? So originally we said young professionals and that's it, but we did notice there could be a lot of older professionals that would use your coffee shop as well, or Christian groups for Bible studies, right? So that's something you want to be aware of. Now, I'm not saying you got to cater to every single one of these end uses, and I'm not saying you got to limit specific end uses. What's best for your business? At least these are just tools that help you understand what the landscape is, okay? Also, some end uses might not be useful or profitable. In step one, the why, we said a novelty store. But under the who, did we even mention that? No, we didn't. So maybe, now imagine this. Imagine if you actually devoted your resources to have a novelty store at your coffee shop and no one bought anything from that novelty store. No one was interested in it. Did you just waste a lot of money? Absolutely. So what this helps you to do is to identify, okay, I think this is a reason why someone would do business with me. Okay, who would do it? Who would use your business for that reason? Oh, I really can't find one. Okay, then maybe it's not the best idea. Does that make sense? So this is what this is helping you do. This strategy is literally doing this. It's helping you identify why people are doing business with you. Who exactly are they? Are you targeting the right groups of people? Or are you leaving some people out? Or are you having people that will not do business with you? And the end uses, are there really individuals who will use your product for that reason? All right, this is extremely valuable and extremely helpful. Now, step 3 is unique. And the reason why is because we have identified why, we have identified who. Here's the third most important thing about a segment. Segments interact with each other. They talk to each other. So if you are an athlete, how are you connected with other athletes? Well, they're teammates in the locker room. They're people that you compete against on the field. You probably guys are in similar conferences. You probably go to similar events. You might have similar friends. A church group. How is a church group connected, right? They go to the church on an ongoing basis. They go to Bible studies together. They got small groups together. Business professionals and YPs, how are they connected? Well, maybe chambers of commerce. Maybe young professional business groups, maybe industry-specific business groups. How are these individuals connected? Here's why this is so important. And again, I told you how the succeed strategy is all interweaving. When we get into the message section down the road, what we're going to do is we're going to look at these different key segments that we want to go after, and we're going to look at how they targeted. Parents, maybe it's PTA boards, maybe it's HOA boards, business professionals, maybe it's the Chamber of Commerce. Because what this now does is it allows us to identify specific groups in advertising opportunities and sponsorship opportunities for us to interact. But outside of our personal marketing efforts, people talk. We call this word of mouth, WOM marketing. Word of mouth marketing is fantastic. It's free. We don't have to pay for anything. People advocate on our behalf. It is trustworthy individuals because it's their friends who are doing the talking, and people are sharing their testimonies. So let me give you an example. Let's say the Bible study group, and they're doing the coffee shop. Oh, what did you do yesterday? Well, I was at a Bible study at this coffee shop. Oh, it's so awesome. The ambiance is fantastic. It's really comfortable, cool vibe. They got some live music on the weekends. Their specialty coffees are absolutely fantastic. Oh, really? Maybe I should check it out. You see the point? Business professional. Hey, where do you want to meet? Let's just not meet at the office. I need to get out of the office. Oh, there's a great coffee shop down the street. Oh, why do you like it? Okay, perfect. I'll go with you. When you identify why someone would do business with you, then you identify who those individuals are, and you provide them with exactly what they want, well, they're going to talk to people they're connected with and spread the word about your business. Okay? So when you're talking about targeting strategy, the first step is to identify who your different segments are. How do we do that? We identify why they will do business with us, who exactly are they, and how are they connected. All right, that's your first strategy, your step-by-step action. And you should come up with something like this. Now, again, we have this in your materials that you guys can use this in if you want. You can do a spreadsheet, you can do a piece of paper, whatever makes things easy for you. So for targeting strategy, step 1, which is segmentation, here are your step-by-step tasks. Brainstorm all the reasons why someone would do business with you. Identify who would use these end uses. Now, again, you're going to find out that some end uses have multiple segments and some segments have multiple end uses, all right? And then finally, identify how are they connected. This right here is step 1. Easy enough? Remember, you define the why, you find out who, give them what they want, and they're going to talk to everyone they're connected with. Sound good? All right, guys. Bible verse. Here's one thing I got to remember. Segments are fluid. And here's what I mean. This coffee shop example. They might want to go to your local coffee shop to have this meeting. But there might be a time where they're in a rush and they're going to go to Dunkin' Donuts because they want something quick and easy. Just like you might prefer to go to a fine dining steakhouse, but there might be times where you're extremely on the rush and you might stop at McDonald's just because you need something to eat. There's a difference between a preference and the difference between a need basis, all right? We're talking about preferences here. Where would your target audience prefer to go to? And then obviously you're going to have different situations outside of that. When I'm saying that people are only going to go to your coffee shop, there's going to be different situations around that. We're talking to the universal preference. Does that make sense? Okay. Bible verse of the day. As each has received a gift, Use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. 1 Peter 4:10. This is a great verse for this section because here's what we're talking about. You have received a gift through your talents, through your resources, through your business. And now what your job is to do as a business owner is your job is to share that gift, yes, at a profit, which is okay, but you're going to be sharing that gift in good steward with others, right? We're a good steward. That's why we are using a target strategy to refine our resources, to maximize our resources, and we're sharing it to individuals who have a need or a want that we can supply. As long as you find out the why first. All right, guys, see you in the next video. Be good.